Welcome to the Indie Author Spotlight, where we interview indie authors about upcoming releases as well as life as an author, presented to you by Books, Brews, and Dogs. You can visit booksbrewsanddogs.com, purchase a blind date with a book, and support animal rescue efforts. Books, Brews, and Dogs is where you can buy a book and save a dog or a cat.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Books, Brews, Dogs Indie Author Spotlight podcast. We're here today with Carolyn Corvin, and I'm very excited to be talking to her about her recently released book, which is Christmas themed. So how are you doing today, Carolyn?
I'm doing really well. I'm sitting here in shorts, actually, which you'll probably envy if you're in the northern parts of the world. It's actually summer here in
A
New
little
Zealand.
bit.
So, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, even in California, it's starting to get a little bit cooler. I think it was down to like the 40s last night, which isn't horrible, but for California, that's freezing. Everyone
Yeah.
here, it turns 60 degrees and everyone's in a jacket, which is it's kind of the same in Texas too, because Texas is so hot for so long of the year, and then we had like 2 weeks where it got really cold. Um,
Yeah, I think
but
you guys, they even had some snow this year, didn't they? Yeah,
yeah, so that's
last Christmas. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
last one.
yeah, which was interesting. Because it wasn't a lot of snow, but it's nobody knows what to do with it when we get it. Um, so, but it's like
Yeah, well,
it
we're
was
the same.
funny. Yeah, it was funny because when I got to California and it was raining, everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's downpour," and I'm laughing after spending 10 years in Texas and thinking everyone in California is like, "It's a downpour," and I'm like, "This is barely a sprinkle. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, it's all relative. It's all
So.
relative. Yeah.
Yeah, what you get used to is interesting.
Mm.
All right.
Mm.
So, um, I just finished today, um, reading your book. Um, I just said the title before we started the recording, 12 Days of Christian. So I
That's the
finished
one.
that book today. It's a very heartwarming, heartfelt book. And, um, I, of course, absolutely love this book because it deals a lot with animal rescue, which is something that you've stated is also close to your heart. I mean, that's what my entire business was built around, was raising awareness around animal rescue. So of course, like as soon as we got to that part, which it tells you kind of right off the bat, I was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing."
Mm.
So
Yeah.
what was your inspiration for putting that in the book and adding that, and how did you go
Okay.
about?
Yeah, so my husband would say to people that I'm the dog lady. We've had dogs all our lives. We love dogs a lot. And we got involved with some friends when we moved up here to where we live now who were involved in dog rescue. And we couldn't help out as far as being foster parents ourselves, but because we had two dogs of our own that weren't really suitable to being adoptive parents to puppies, which is
Yeah.
a lot of the ones that come into rescue. We're finding loads and loads of unwanted litters of puppies. So I got involved with helping out our friends and doing dog sitting, respite care for them so they could go away for a weekend or go out for a night. And I'd just go up there and play with the puppies, which wasn't a hardship to me. And they had 7 dogs of their own, bigger
Oh,
dogs,
wow.
all rescues. And so
Wow.
sometimes I'd take puppies also to adoption days on behalf of the rescue, which is really important. Some of our local hardware stores have been really helpful, and they have adoption days run there. And so we take the puppies along and let them do meet and greets, and from those sometimes they get homes. So it's and above all, it raises awareness and we raise money. So that's how I got involved with it. And the 12 Days of Christian was actually my sixth book. And when I look back, I couldn't believe that I'd written six books without a dog in any of them because dogs have always been so special to me
Uh-huh.
and love Christmas. And I always knew I was going to write a Christmas book. So when I did this one, I put the two together. So we put dogs and we put Christmas and put them in a book. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong with that. And it
No,
it really is
no.
such a heartwarming story. One of the things that I truly loved about you adding the animal rescue is you in the book the character goes on a show to where if you win the competition show or whatever, then it chooses your charity. And so he had chosen the charity for the animal rescue. And so in that way, you also bring awareness that like these rescues need funding and they need help because most of them are run voluntarily
Yeah,
by
absolutely.
volunteers. And so
Mhm.
it's people that just do it on their own time, but it costs um if I'm remembering correctly, when when I did the interview with Saving South Texas, it's like $400 just to vet the dog to make or
Yeah.
cat, just basic vet care, making sure all of the
Mm.
um shots are had and the basic checkup and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And that's why I sort of centered it around the female main character. She works as a vet nurse at
mhm,
a vet clinic that caters mainly to the dog, helps the dog rescue. And the vet bills are astounding because, like you say, $400 just to bring a dog in and get the basics done. And the sad thing is that some of them who come in are so neglected.
mhm.
We've had dogs come into the rescue I've worked with that have, broken legs, all kinds of things, terrible things. And people would say, oh, well, the kind thing would be just to put them down. And the rescue is adamant that that's an absolute last resort. So sometimes volunteers raise thousands of dollars that are blown in one dog just to keep it alive, especially sometimes the
Yeah.
puppies. We get a lot of puppies who are abandoned, taken off their mothers too soon. And quite often, the fosters are amazing and they're good at raising those little puppies. But some of them, because they're so fragile, they end up in emergency, intensive care. So yeah, it's an expensive thing. And like you say, it's all been run by volunteers. I know you're probably the same over there as we are in New Zealand. There's no government money for it, no funding. It's just done out of love. And the other thing too is that the foster families are so incredible that opening their homes. So the rescue tries to provide everything they need. So food, bedding,
Hmm.
crates, stuff like that. Because again, um, some people have got the time to be home all day with baby puppies, but they couldn't afford to feed them. So the rescue covers that. So yeah, it's a huge amount, but it's so worth it when you see the pictures of them in their new homes, their forever homes. Mm.
Yeah, it's a fostering's kind of a catch-22 because you grow to love the dog while you have
Mm-hmm.
it and you're caring for it and
Mm.
it
Yeah.
becomes a bit of part of your family, but then, they leave because they go to a new home, but then it
Mm.
opens your home up to be able to foster
Do
again.
another
And
one.
so it's
Yeah. Mm.
and the more you can foster, the more you can help and things
Yeah.
like that. And um
Saving. Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
got lucky because the dog that I fostered went to a friend of mine, so still get to
Oh,
see her, or I did before I had to move to California,
yeah.
take care
It's
of Grandma.
lovely.
But
Yeah. It's
I
lovely.
was still able to see her, and my dogs still got to have play dates and
Nice.
things like that.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun, and I still at least get pictures and things, and um,
Mm.
but maybe once everything gets situated here, I'll be able to foster again. Um,
Right.
but it's something that I would
Yeah.
love to do again. It is a lot of fun. It's very rewarding. It's very hard,
Yeah.
but it is very rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes a big toll on the people at the head of it, who are, and puppy intakes, puppies coming in, and they have nowhere to place them, and it's really hard. But we're hoping that one day we will have a more permanent shelter that can take them, so that if there's not immediately a foster available, they can be cared for a bit longer, and also higher needs. Because the founder of the rescue that I worked with, she's got sort of a setup at her home, but it would be nice to have a big one. And I imagine that in the book too. So the rest in my book, they've got that, and they actually go and do a lovely little Santa visit and give all the dogs their presents. And yeah, I loved writing that too, because that's our dream, to have something bigger like that, that means we could take more and we can look after them if they need it a bit longer before they have to go into fosters. So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it's a really fun book to read, and it's got a cute love story being in it, so it's a contemporary romance.
Yeah.
And I love when you have the romances where you get the male perspective and he's pining harder for the girl, and the girl's like clueless to what is happening, and he's like pining, and she's just like, oh, da, 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 da. I love it. I find it hilarious because growing up, when you did have books that had a little bit of romance in them, or when I would read the romance books, it was always the women who were pining and fawning over, and so it's nice to see that flip, and it's becoming more popular to flip it so that it's not the female always pining.
I'm a big fan of He Falls First. I really love it. I tend to write it quite often, but no one complains about it, because I think we all love that idea that this guy, he's so down so bad for her, and sometimes she doesn't even know it. And that's what I liked in this one. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to angle down. I'm being brought toys.
Oh, I love it when they bring you gifts. Oh my gosh. They're so cute. Yeah.
My grandma has a pomegranate tree in her backyard, and Perrin, the husky, keeps going and picking the pomegranates off and bringing me pomegranates.
Oh, lovely.
He doesn't chew anything. He just comes in with a whole pomegranate in his mouth and hands it to me, puts it in my lap, and I'm like, thank you.
It's amazing how gentle they can be with things like that too, and not crush
I
them.
know.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, look at that. That's so sweet.
Yeah. I think this is the best part of the podcast. This is probably what all the viewers come for, is these.
Come for the dogs.
The dogs.
Yeah, we'll always come for dogs. Oh, that's so sweet.
So with the 12 Days of Christian, it's a He Falls First. And it is the first in a duet, isn't it? It's a duet, or is it a series?
No, it's going to be a 4-book series. So
nice.
It's about the main characters, the guys are all part of a British rock band called Stella Riot. So the series is called Stella Riot Christmas, and each one follows one of them. They're all there in the first book, but they're more side characters. So each guy is going to get their own book, and people have been having guesses about what the next book will be, and which guy and which pair will happen. So that's a lot of fun. I enjoy writing books where you follow a group of people and the different dynamics between them, and then you get different points of view. So like in 12 Days of Christian, we've got Christian, who's the lead guitarist, and Hayley is the lead singer's sister. And he's had a crush on her since he first met her when they were on one of those reality singing shows like American Idol, so a British show. So they met on that, and then they ended up forming a band. And he's pined for his best friend's sister for a long time, and suddenly they are thrown together. He's hiding out in her house. Well, it's her brother's house. She lives with him. and he's got to hide out there for 12 days. And of course, 12 days together, suddenly things that were secret and hidden become more apparent. So, yeah. So I really love writing that. And so then the second book came out in November. It's out now, and that follows Teddy, who's the drummer for the band. So Christian, the guitarist, he's kind of this brooding, kind of grumpy exterior, soft center. His image in the papers is as a bad boy, and he's had some really unfair bad press, which follows him into that book. The second book, we've got Teddy, who's the youngest in the band. He's the drummer. He's a playboy, but he's one of those guys who seems to be able to tune through women, and none of them still have a bad word to say about him. And everyone seems to indulge him because he's a real charmer. And Hayley's best friend, Rachel, one of her best friends, is bridesmaid at the wedding, and Teddy's the groomsman, and they're thrown together for a week ahead of the wedding in an English country manor. And it belongs to actually some of the characters that appeared in 12 Days. So I love having continuity between books. It's a standalone book, so you could absolutely read the second book without reading the first. But if you've read the first, you've got, oh, I know that person or that place. So I had a lot of fun writing that. And Christian and Hayley were more similar in age, but Rachel and Teddy, there's a reverse age gap. So Teddy is 26 and Rachel's 35, and just been dumped by her fiance rather badly. And she's not really looking for anything, but in reality, she really wants to find love, because she's got the sense that time's passing her by and everyone else she knows seems to be paired up and loved up couples. So yeah, so I really love writing this one too, because again, he falls first. Yeah, and Teddy's wanted to repair his playboy ways. He's kind of tired of it. He started to find it exhausting, and he decides that Rachel's the one. But of course, she's not so sure about going from a fiance who really hurt her to a guy who might spiral in and out of her life in an instant. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of Christmas. The wedding party have a challenge they have to do before the wedding. So a bit of fun and games for them. Each pair, the couples are competing again for money for a charity. Of course, Hayley and Christian, we know they're going to choose the dog charity. And Teddy and Rachel are paired up in that challenge, and they have to beat the others. So that was a lot of fun to write. I really love reading Christmas competitions. So we had gingerbread and carols and Christmas cocktails and a lot of decorating.
That sounds like it's going to be another fun one, especially if you like the Christmas books and Christmas. They're very, Hallmark,
They are.
sweet,
They are.
and they're like perfect little books, for in between, or like little bites that, well, they're bigger than novellas, because they're bigger than novellas, but they're easy, they're fun, they're enjoyable. I really enjoyed reading the 12 Days of Christian. I'm looking forward to reading Not My Little Drummer Boy. I can't stop laughing because these two are just
I know, aren't they gorgeous?
In the background right now, so it just has me.
I just love it. Get free entertainment while we're sitting here. It's wonderful. Yeah. Well, I didn't put dogs in the second book, but I did put horses. Because again, for a long time we had horses. I bred and showed miniature horses, and minis are a bit like dogs. A lot of them end up in bad places, and horse rescue's huge. So, oh, look at those two. They say, don't talk about the horses. We want to talk about dogs. Dogs are way better. Oh, they're cute.
You just get a little too wild. I am so sorry. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, that's all right. I was just laughing about them and saying that the second book's got horses. Oh, look, we're back. I don't think they like us talking about horses. I think they want us to stay with dogs.
Right? They're like, no. All right. Calm down. Shake it off. Shake it off. Wild today.
They
Wild.
are. I love them.
So sorry.
No, it's great. I love it, love it, love it. Mm,
Um, yeah, so that's really cool. You did miniature horse breeding
yeah,
or
yeah.
shows.
Yeah, both. And that was a lot of fun. Well, we just decided it was time not to do it anymore. But again, with horses, you become aware that while your horses are pampered and loved and you spend a lot of money on them and look after them, there are a lot of horses in
Yeah.
rescue. So there's not so much an obvious rescue theme in Not My Little Drummer Boy, but the horses that are in the book are actually rescues. So it's nice little side touch for the animal lovers amongst us. Yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
yeah, and I loved like the again with the Christmas competitions. I loved writing that these people were
mhm,
doing something for charity. Um, I just think it's nice at Christmas to be thinking about giving something back where you can,
mhm.
and there's lots of charities that need a little bit extra around Christmas in particular. So yeah, so it was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Mm.
Yeah. I mean, it's the perfect time to read a nice little Christmas book, and
Mm,
there's
mm,
plenty. And of course, I'm not opposed to watching, a good Christmas movie any time of the year. So,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
it's
Well, you said
a lot of fun.
Hallmark, and my readers kind of describe these as Hallmarks with spice because there is a little bit in them. Then they're
Yeah.
not super steamy, but I don't write closed door. I write open door in all my books. So these are open door. Um, I love someone else said you call them Hallmark after dark because you kind of see what goes on after dark in them. So I thought that's a good summation of them too. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that is true. It is good to clarify that because they
Mm,
are spicy.
mm.
They're not very spicy, but they are
Yeah,
spicy. So,
yeah, yeah.
um,
And I suppose it also means too that if you're not super crazy about Christmas, you probably still enjoy them. I mean, if you
mhm.
hate Christmas, maybe not, but they are still a contemporary romance with a romance arc, and it's just set against the backdrop of Christmas and some Christmas things involved.
Yeah,
So
and it's
it's getting
not
that balance. I wanted a
all
balance.
about
I wanted
Christmas.
something that, yeah, I wanted enough Christmas for Christmas lovers, but I wanted enough contemporary romance with a really nice, satisfying, happily ever after at the end for people who just love a good romance. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it is obviously very much at Christmas time, but it's not mentioned on every single
Mm.
page or in every
No,
single
no,
conversation. So it's
no.
definitely not overdone on the Christmas
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. There's
It was really
another.
enjoyable.
Mm. And they're set in London, in England. Obviously, I live in New Zealand, but my dream Christmases would be spent in London. I love the city. I love the surrounding areas. It felt like home when we visited, so I really wanted them to be there. And so you get that. One of a new friend I met, she's Irish and she lived in London for 6 years. And she said to me, she read the 12 Days of Christian. She said, "So how long did you live in London?" I said, "No, I didn't live in London. I
That's
visited, but
always
I have
a
never lived
compliment.
there." And so I was like, "Oh, wow." It was, and someone else said about Not My Little Drummer Boy that it was deliciously, lusciously English. And I felt like, yeah, my work here is done. I
Yeah.
wanted it to feel that because I mean, here in New Zealand, we have a lot of English overtones, and I suppose we feel very familiar with that. But I really enjoy British culture and the country. So yeah, so that's why they're set there, not in New Zealand. Yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
it's fun to kind of move around and explore a different area and get to write that and is
Yeah. Yeah.
so what does your writing process look like? Like from inspiration to getting it on the page, what does that process
Mhm.
look like for you?
Um, so inspiration, I never lack for it. So I have books queued up ahead of me for a long time. It always starts with the characters. I always, I don't know, they just come to me. I sort of see these people and settings, and so I start with that, and I do lots and lots of, I'll be driving in my car and I'll think of something and I'll just stop and write it down or record it or send myself an email. So by the time I start to write a book, I feel like I've got a really sound knowledge of the character and their backstory, even though it may not be on the page. That evolves though as I write. I am still very much a discovery writer. So while I do roughly outline, um, I don't have a very detailed plot. I'm one of those people, I think if I wrote too much detail in my plot and plotting it out, I would get bored and lose interest. So I love the story to evolve as it goes. So I start writing. I don't always write in order, though I'm getting better at that. Sometimes I'll write a chapter out of order. If I'm really excited about a particular scene that I want to write, sometimes I'll write that even if I'm not there yet. So that gets a bit interesting, but it's never been a problem for me. I don't know, I just like it. And I suppose some writers say they sit down at the computer and they get worried about the blank page and they get writer's block. That doesn't happen to me very often. And I think that's because if I'm feeling like a scene isn't moving along like I want it to, I usually will just stop it. I might reread what I've just written before it and try again. And if I can't, then I'll often jump ahead and write something else. And most of that into the eventual book. Some of those bits I write don't. Some of them you realise, no, that's not going to serve the story. But yeah, so I do a draft. I'm one of those annoying people who does a lot of editing as I write. A lot of people say, oh, just dump it all down there and make a really bad first draft. And it doesn't matter. Just get the ideas down. It could be because I've been a teacher. The teacher in me can't bear, if there's a capital letter missing or a typo even, I just have to fix it as I go. But quite often what I'll do is I'll write in the morning and I'll just edit at night while I'm watching telly. But I do a lot as I go. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
This is what happened because I had to skip their walk for the.
Oh, I know. Thank you
So
for
he's
doing that
a
for
little
me.
full of extra energy.
Yes, yes, he's dropping big hints that he hasn't had what he's meant to have.
Yeah.
And this other one, that looks to me like that your other dog, not the husky, could be a model for one of the dogs in the 12 Days of Christian.
Oh yeah.
The the third one, Kona, that's exactly how I imagined Kona looking, just like that. Beautiful. Yeah.
I got lucky that they're such beautiful, both of them. Both of
Mm,
them.
mm. Yeah, yeah. They are. They're beautiful. Oh.
Yeah, the Murphy the Pity is a lot more excitable when we don't get our
Mhm.
walk.
Yeah, yeah,
Perrin
yeah.
remains pretty calm most of the time. So
Mm,
this is pretty much his, like, unless we're on a walk. And then he's
it
all
is
excitable
full
and
on.
all over the
Yeah,
place.
yeah,
But when
yeah,
we're at home, this is pretty much his state. Right?
yeah.
Oh, here's
We
my
find we get a lot of pity crosses coming
oh,
into the rescue. And that's why in the book, 12 Days, I deliberately made one of those dogs a pity cross. And then the third dog that comes along, I envisaged the same. Yeah. I just felt like they can get a bad rap, and all the ones I've met are just big softies and delightful. Yeah.
oh, yeah. They're just lap dogs. Oh, that was
Yeah.
my thank you. That felt wonderful.
Oh gosh.
So, yep, this is my Murphy. This is my
Murphy, you're so sweet. Oh,
Murphy.
the other one's got the bottle now, not to be
Oh,
outdone.
hi, buddy.
Mm. Oh,
But
they're real cuties.
he's like,
Yeah.
nobody's paying attention to me.
Can't do that.
I
Can't
know,
ignore the dogs.
right? So you have another book that I'm really interested in. And I don't remember. Oh gosh, that was gross. He left a slobber on my forehead.
Oh,
Oh, I love you. I do. Um,
oh.
and I don't remember the name of it, but I'm really interested in it. It's a parallel lives romance that you did.
Mm. Yeah, so I wrote a 5 book series, 4 main books, and one is a prequel novel. And they're based on the idea of the fact that we could be living multiple lives at the same time in parallel universes. And in each of them, we have a woman who has a love in this life and finds another love in another life, and then the two worlds collide in the third part of the book. I had a lot of fun with it. It's something that's always fascinated me, like the metaverse, and I even used the line in one of my books about some of the great scientists actually believe that it could exist. So I thought, why not? If it could exist. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with writing those books just because it was quite a different concept. So they are romances, and they kind of have 2 romance arcs in them because so it's like a love triangle with no cheating because there isn't cheating involved because they're in different lives. There's a bit of heartache in both of them, or in all of them, because in every one of them, through circumstances, they lose their first love. And
Oh, wow.
luckily, they find their other love, which is great because we're all about happily ever afters here. I don't write books without them. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun with those. And those are all set partly in New Zealand. They're all New Zealand women, and partly in Scotland. And all the guys are Scottish because Scotland is probably my favorite country in the world that I've visited. And I really, really loved going there, and I loved setting it there. And I suppose I was a bit inspired when I first started writing. I was really inspired by Diana Gabaldon, who wrote Outlander, which starts in Scotland with Jamie Fraser, the original hero, the king of men who all husbands hate because they can't measure up to him. Mine does anyway. And she really inspired me because she wrote her first book. She said she just wrote it for practice. And I thought, wow, why don't I just do this? I'll write. And so I took the ideas that I'd had, which were about time travel and Scotland. But my books are very different to hers because obviously they don't go back in time. They're a contemporary parallelized romance. So yeah, so bit of fun with those, and I really enjoyed writing them. The timelines were quite tricky because they've got intersecting parallel lives happening, and they're dual point of view. So we've got 2 male main characters, 1 female main character. So you've got 3 points of view. So it was a bit ambitious, but it was the books of my heart. They were, my first books. So you're writing, because it's your new passion. You're writing the book that you've always wanted to write. Yeah, so I really loved those. And so I wrote the 4 big books, but I also wrote a prequel novel, which is about the parents of the female main character in the final book. And they came together through a similar experience, through a slip in time, where they met on one side of time, and then she's determined to find him in her present life. Yeah. So lots of fun. So very different to my other books. I enjoyed writing them though, and so I do contemporary with the Christmas, and I've started a sports romance series as well, which is also set in Scotland, Blindsided by You. And there are little crossover characters between all the books, funnily enough. So, yeah, so Rachel in the 12 Days a Christian, and who's the main female character, Not My Little Drummer Boy. She comes from, she's the sister of a guy in Blindsided by You. So I have a lot of links because I think I love doing it, but I also have been inspired by Abby Jimenez, whose books I adore. And she writes standalones, but they all have little Easter eggs in them for people who've read the other books. And so I love having those little crossovers.
Yeah,
But
and
yes, so I've got that
it's
rugby
also a
romance
lot of
series.
fun. It's a
Yeah.
lot of fun to have books that do that because
Mm,
you know, I love a good series, but I also really like having a standalone.
mm,
Um,
mm.
but it's nice when you have books that, they're standalone, but you get to know and love the characters, and so you get to see them in the other ones, even though they are part of a series, but each
Yeah,
book in it can be a standalone. Um,
that's right.
because then
Yeah.
you get to still enjoy it, but not feeling like, okay, I have to get to the next book. Like what happened,
Yeah.
and because
And there's no
it's
like when
it
I
can get
first read
overwhelming when
Abby.
you have six series that you have to do that with,
Yeah,
and you're waiting
yeah,
for six different books to come out. You're like, ah,
that's right. Yeah, it can get overwhelming. So it's nice to be able to just pick up one that might be part of a series, but it doesn't matter if it's not. And that's what I liked about Abby's books, because her first sort of three that are loosely a series, although they're standalones, I read them in reverse order. But I realized that afterwards, definitely by the time I got back to book one. But it didn't matter because I still enjoyed the books. And so I'm trying to write, particularly the Christmas series, I'm trying to write like that so that if you pick them up out of order, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But if you pick them up, you read them in order, there's a few little, you'll go, oh, there's that character back, or oh, I remember something about that in the other book, but it's not essential. It's just a little bit of icing on the cake. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm. Yeah. So it keeps me busy, and I think it's enjoyable though to write. Some people just write in one subgenre. I mean, I'll always be romance. I think I don't think I've got it in me to write a thriller. I do love reading thrillers, but I don't know whether I've got it in me to write that. But I really enjoy I like the time stuff, and I will come back to that. I've got some ideas for similar but different books. I love the Christmas, and I love sports, and the rugby series. It was going to be 6 books long, but some of my readers from book one said there's a female side character in book one, and even my editor said, "Oh, you are going to write a book, aren't you?" And it's like, actually, I am, and I know what that immediately. I knew what her book would be, so that'll be 7. And I also we're really big Formula One fans here, husband and me. It's the final, thing for us is to sit down and watch Formula One. It's just our great joy in life together, and as far as sports go. And so I've got an idea for a Formula One romance too that came to me again. Characters just came to me one day while I was watching, and I thought, I know what I want to write. And that's a second chance romance, because second chance is like something I adore reading. It's probably my favorite trope, but I haven't written it yet. So I'm hoping to do that with that one. Yeah, so lots of the rugby series.
things
Rugby
in the
is,
works. It sounds
yeah,
like
yeah.
stuff is in the
Too many
works.
books. Too many
Yeah,
books, not time. Yeah, yeah. But it's good to be that way. I'm lucky. I'm lucky I don't have to worry about, it doesn't worry me that, oh, what am I going to do next? When I finish one, I've already got the next one sort of begging me to be written.
yeah.
Mm, yeah,
So,
so
um, are you a full-time writer, or are you writing alongside a job, or what does your schedule look like?
oh,
Like, how do you
yeah,
fit it
I'm not a full-time writer, and I would love to be. So I'm deputy principal of a school, a primary school, so an elementary school, um, and it's pretty full on. But I still, writing is probably, much as I've enjoyed my career in education, writing is really what I want to do. So at the moment, that means that I get up every morning in the dark, pretty much, about 5:30, 5:45, and I make sure I write for at least half an hour every morning. And then in the evenings, I'll often do a little bit of editing. If I've had some ideas during the day that I just have to get down, I write them. And then on weekends, I always make sure I do a few hours. My husband loves motorbikes. And
in?
if he says he's going out for a day on the weekend riding his bike, or he's going away with his motorbike club, it's like, yes, because it's writing time for me. So yeah, I squeeze it in around everything else. I get a little bit obsessive because my writing time's short, but yeah, has to be, has to be. Oh, look at that dog. I miss having dogs. Our last two got old and passed on, and we haven't got any at the moment because we're thinking we will do a lot more traveling. But I can't wait to have a little writing buddy at my feet again or a reading buddy. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're the best company.
He was giving me signs that he wanted to get down, or that I thought, but
Mm.
he,
Dog kisses.
I love you too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, very cute.
No, okay, I guess he's
Nope,
staying.
he's happy.
He's content.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, they're beautiful.
Yeah, he's only, 82 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
It's so funny because I have this door open which goes out into the backyard, and then I have the door over here that goes out into the front of the house. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And in the morning before I open the door, I let him out here to go run around. But lately, I know. Lately this one, Murphy has been run outside, potty real quick, and then stand and wait for me to open that door. And as soon as I open that door, he runs and jumps up on my grandma's bed and just
Oh,
snuggles up to her and gives her all the kisses.
oh, that's lovely.
It's adorable because he's like, I have to go see my grandma. I have to go see grandma.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, I love it that dogs on beds are fine because we've always had dogs on beds, even though most of our dogs were big and
oh, I
it meant
know.
not much room in the bed, but
Yeah.
it's lovely when they want to cuddle.
When we got my grandma a new bed, she made me promise that we would get it big enough so that the dogs can lay in it with her. And she said, if
Yeah,
the dogs can't lay in the bed with me, you might as well just leave me where I'm at.
yeah,
I said, okay. I was like,
she's got it right.
you're 80 years old. You can do whatever you want, Grandma. You
Yeah.
want. So we made sure she had a bed big enough for both dogs to fit on it
Oh,
with
I
her.
love that. Yeah.
So
Oh my gosh, this is so sweet. I just cannot get over how much that dog looks exactly like what I pictured in my head.
yeah.
Yeah, you could be my model.
Yeah.
I need some
I'll have
photos of
to
you.
send her some pictures.
Yeah, you will. You will. I can make good use of those.
Yeah. So
Oh,
he's he's my lap dog. This is um whenever he feels I spend too much time at the computer trying to get stuff done, he'll come sit in my lap. I'm like, you gotta pay
mm,
attention. And then this one's starting to prove me a liar by actually being talkative and not as calm. But
hmm
it is what it is. So,
mm.
with the Blindsided by You, like, what was the inspiration in going into the sports romance?
Um, I've I've always, well, I grew up with rugby. So my dad played, coached, managed teams. My brothers played. It's a national obsession in our country. Even if you don't follow it closely, you do follow it because it's just what you do. It's so much part of our culture. And I found just came about that. So I had thought I always would write, if I wrote a sports romance, I'd start with what I know. I absolutely adore hockey. I went and watched a game live in Dallas and was sold on it. And I love hockey romance books, but I felt like I would rather write about, to start with, I might write a hockey book one day, never say never, but I thought I'd start with the game I know. And
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to, a lot of sports books are about professional teams. And I wanted to write about a small town rugby club, like the kind of town I grew up in, where the rugby club is really central to life in those small towns. and players who play for the love of it, not just for the glory. Sure, they want to win, but they're not getting paid. They're amateur players. So I decided to do that, and I centered it in Cluny, which is a Scottish town that I invented for as a side setting place in one of my time travel books, my parallel lives books. And so I used that as the setting for the town because while football is big, soccer is big in the UK, rugby's very strong in Scotland. And as New Zealanders, our teams love playing the Scottish team because they play with such heart. And so I felt in Scotland there was a similar heart for rugby in some of those small towns. So that's why I wrote rugby and why it's in small town Scotland. And in Blindsided, the main female character has been working for a professional rugby team, and her father was the coach of a team based in Glasgow. And they come back to their small town when her mother is sick and passes away. So she's back in her small town. I do like small town. I always thought I wouldn't mind writing something small town as well because I grew up in a small town. So I've had a lot of fun creating that small Scottish town and everything that's there and the people there and the characters that you get in any small town who can be a bit larger than life, and the rugby club as the heart of the town and the players. Yeah. So that's how that came about.
That was a really fun read. I did an arc read for you on that one.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I really enjoyed it. It was another one, picked it up and didn't really want to put it down. So I got through it pretty quick.
And some people sort of worried that rugby, because it's not very strong in the States. So at the moment, it's really interesting.
Yeah, I know nothing about it other than it's a sport.
No, but it is played in the States. My nephew's at Cornell at the moment in upstate New York, and he's in their rugby team. I think they said, "Oh, he's a New Zealander. He better play in the rugby team." And I have met when we were doing horses. One of our American judges came out, and her husband was a rugby coach. So my dad took him to some games here, which he loved. It's not big, but I tried to write the book so that, a bit like when I first started reading hockey books, I didn't really know anything about hockey. It didn't spoil the book because you can kind of pick it up. And to help that, though, in the front of the book, I also included, I Googled sort of what would you tell someone if they just needed to know quick and dirty what rugby's about. I kind of knew, but I almost felt like I knew too much. And so from that, I wrote a little piece in the front of the book, just a very quick guide so people can get a grip on what the basics of the game, enough that the book's understandable. Yeah. But my editor's American, and so she lives in New York. So I said to her, look, I absolutely need you to tell me if there's any of this that's too confusing for someone who's not familiar with the game. So it was really helpful. I find it really helpful to have someone, because obviously the biggest market in romance tends to be the US market. So while you're setting books in London or New Zealand or Scotland, you have to make sure that it's not too jarring for people who are not so familiar with those countries and or the sports. So
and blindsided is a term used in rugby, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a play on.
Yeah, it's a play on words. So in a lot of sports, but particularly in rugby, the blind side is sort of the offside from the main play. And so Geordie, the main character in that, the position he's played is called flanker, and there are two flankers in a rugby team, and one is the blindside flanker, and he's the blindside flanker. But it's also a play on words because his older sister is her best friend. And so he knew her when he was a little boy. To her, she was just her friend's younger brother. And the fact that they're attracted to each other and that they come together in this small town, it sort of blindsides them. So that the more normal meaning of the word, they're blindsided by the fact that this could happen. So it's a play on words between the position and and what happens in their romance. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun when you get to notice and learn stuff like that. And I wouldn't say that I know a lot about rugby or remembered like everything that you
Mm,
brought up about the sport, but the way you described it, I was able to follow kind of what was happening and catch on a little bit. So,
yeah. Yeah.
I don't know that I'd be able to follow a game, um, but
It's the same with me in hockey. Honestly, hockey books, I can read them fine and I know enough to follow what's going on in
Mhm.
the book. But when it comes to, like, we watched all the Stanley Cup this year, which we love, I had to brush up on the rules again before I watched the games just to make sure, because there's a little different between reading a book where it's set in the context of a sport as in actually
Mhm.
watching the sport. So yeah, and I really feel like that's why sports romance, you really have, as a sports romance author, you really have to walk that line again. You have to be accurate with what you say, but you don't want to say too much, and it take over from the whole point, because it's first and foremost is a contemporary romance story. So yeah, so it's that balancing. But like the Christmas books, you've got to balance it so that it's an enjoyable book for the reader, and they're a
Mhm.
romance reader. They're coming for the romance, not
Yeah.
necessarily the sport. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. And that book also easy read, fun read. Same with 12 Days of Christian. They're fun, they're enjoyable, they are spicy, but they're kind of hallmarky because they're definitely happily ever afters. They're not,
Mm,
but you
mm,
do have, the problems and you walk through the emotional aspect of um the fight with their emotions and why they're fighting with their emotions and walking through and describing that. And it
yeah,
really is nice because it gives you a way to connect to them because you're really getting to get involved with how they feel. So you
yeah,
feel very
yeah,
much like a friend is talking to you about what they're feeling and
mm,
going through as you're reading the
yeah,
characters and what
yeah,
they're doing. And so you really do kind
yeah,
of get to connect with the characters. And so that's
mm,
always really
yeah.
nice.
I mean, I think, there are some books that are really angsty, and there are some books that there's enough of it, but also a little light of fun. And so I try and, to me, it is the emotion is first and foremost. Oh, they're so funny.
And they're really good. Because so sorry, I had to, Perrin won't eat the cap. He'll just chew on it. But Murphy will eat the cap, so I wanted to make sure I got it away before.
Yes, we don't want them eating the cats.
No,
Not
they can chew
really.
on it all they want. I just don't want them to eat it.
No, no.
Um,
What cuties.
but that jar of treats, left it open, and they were able to go in and out of my room all day, and they never knocked it off.
Wow.
They didn't knock it off.
Wow.
They didn't. They could have easily gotten into it and ended up
Yeah.
getting stuck or
Yeah.
anything. And because I left the lid off,
Mm,
and they they didn't mess with it. They're like, okay.
that's great.
I was actually astonished. Like, I know they don't mess with it when the lid's on it, and I'm like, okay, they can't really smell it as well, so they're not thinking about it. But
Mm.
I know they could smell those, and that's one of their favorite treats because it's a sweet potato with a duck
Ooh.
wrapped around it.
Oh gosh, that
But
sounds delicious. I think I even might eat that.
right?
Not that I really would, but you know what I mean. Sometimes, yeah,
Yeah,
some dogs are horrible, and you think, oh, I'd never eat that. But some of them, they smell actually really good.
yeah. Um, so
Mm.
I was quite impressed with how well behaved they were. I couldn't believe I left the lid open. I don't think I've ever done that before.
I've had both kinds of dogs. Some of our dogs were like, You could leave anything and they would not touch it. It was so good. And others always angling for a chance to get something they weren't meant to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the Samoyeds broke into the pantry and ate a dozen eggs
Oh no.
and made a huge mess too because she left shells and that all over the floor and
Oh,
disgusting.
that would be such a pain to clean up. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. She thought she was really clever. She worked out how to open that door, but
Yeah.
wasn't good. Mm.
All right. So, Not My Little Drummer Boy was your most recent release,
Yeah.
and that came
Yeah.
out this month.
Early, early November. Early
Okay.
November. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
early November, so last month. Um, do you have a schedule of books that are coming out next year?
Yeah.
Or is that still in the works?
No, I've been doing a lot of planning actually in the last few weeks because I have all these ideas in my head and I get to the point where I feel like I've got to write them down. So yeah, so next year there'll be two new books. There'll be Sidelined by You, which is the next one after Blindsided by You,
Mhm.
will come out in early September. And that's takes a side character who's in the first book, Kyle, who's the local police officer in town and has a bit of a bad reputation from his past. And his the female main character, Quinn, is world-class triathlete with an injury, and she also has an overzealous fan who's making her life very uncomfortable in London. So she goes to Cluny to recuperate and to try and give the London police a chance to get rid of this stalker fan.
Mm.
So that comes out in September, and it's set. Blindsided was kind of set in the autumn. This is set in the spring and early summer, and it's still based around the rugby club, but it's touch rugby, which is a summer version of rugby that's played by men and women and often in mixed teams. So I decided that it would be great to do that too, because it's really, really popular here, and I know it is in other countries. So that's going to be still centered around rugby, but a little bit different. And then in early November again, the third book in Stella Wright Christmas, which tentatively of my working title is My Ollie Jolly Christmas, because it's about Ollie Templeton, who's the lead singer in the band.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not going to say who the female main character is, although one or two of my readers have DM'd me with their guesses, and I did tell them when they were right. But there is some foreshadowing of it. If you read between the lines and Not My Little Drummer Boy, you're probably going to work it out. And a lot of them said, oh, the ones who've worked it out said they cannot wait. So, yeah, so that's
That's
exciting.
exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah, yeah. And that one's going to be a fake dating is going to be the main trope in it, which will be interesting. I'm excited to write it. It's a trope I didn't know that, if someone had said to me 5 years ago, oh, you books about fake dating, you'll really like them. So I go, no, don't be so stupid. But actually, a good fake dating romance is just like catnip. So I'm really,
Can be when it's
yeah,
done well, because you're just like,
yeah.
how can they not see it?
Yeah, yeah. And there's that moment, well, both what I love about it, and I can't wait to write this. I've already started both those two books coming out next year. I've already written a little bit of, just started because I couldn't help myself. But I love the moment in fake dating where they each think that they know they've fallen for the other person, but they think the other person hasn't. So they're both independently thinking, oh, I wish this wasn't fake, but they obviously still think it is. And I really love that. It's just really delicious, and I can't wait to write it. So yeah, I've got a
Yeah.
fake dating one lined up in the rugby series as well, and a few books along that I want to write, which will be fun as well.
I
So
like
yeah,
that you're playing with all the different tropes throughout your series, and that it's not,
yeah,
so each relationship that
mhm,
it talks about, and as you go on with the characters, each one has their own
yeah.
very unique story because they each have a different
Yeah.
trope that they're going
Mm,
through. And so, it's a
yeah.
little bit more lifelike because we wouldn't all have the same style of love story, right?
No,
And
no,
so
that's
within our
right.
group of friends, we all fall in love a little different. And
Mm,
so it,
yeah,
it really brings that lifelike essence to it, of knowing,
yeah,
meet all of them, that they're all going to be a little different and have their own
yeah, yeah.
mix
And
to.
it's not, it's kind of not deliberate. I said I always start with the characters first. So for the rugby series, I've got these main characters and the pairs worked out, and I kind of know a little bit, what work they do and that kind of thing. And just each one, I've sort of thought, oh, I think that's going to happen to them. So each one, it's just kind of naturally come out of the characters and the
Mhm.
situation that they're in at the start of the book. So yeah, it's fun, but I enjoy it too. I think it keeps the writing fresh. As a writer, it's nice to write something different because there are different challenges. Um, writing an enemies to lovers as opposed to a friends to lovers to a fake dating. It's always different, and it gives you a challenge. And I really like that because you can't just it's going to follow a similar romance, the romance beats, but it's going to look different. And the way you craft the story to hit those beats that readers love to see is different because of the tropes and the characters. So yeah, it keeps it interesting for me. It's why I just can't imagine tiring of it. Like
Uh-huh.
you think, I've been writing since 2019 and I haven't got sick of it. It's like, some people probably think, when are you going to get sick of this and go do something else? And I just don't see myself getting tired of it. And I think that's why, because the diversity of humanity and
Mhm.
ways of falling in love, and that is so broad that the opportunities are kind of limitless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd have to agree. And each one, even if you do something that's within the same trope, there's still so many minor details that will
Yeah.
change the story completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have so many varieties and authors. And I know life is hard. So hard. It's so hard to be a dog. It's so hard to be a
Oh
dog.
my gosh. I love the way they talk.
I know.
Oh my gosh. We've had Samoyeds and Akitas, and both of them talk. They
Oh,
do that.
yeah.
Maybe a Spitz dogs thing, Spitz breeds of dogs. But yeah, I love it. Oh, yes, you've got to get in the picture too.
Yeah.
Murphy's been in the
He
picture.
he doesn't like cameras. I tried to take a picture of him the other day and he ran. He saw
Oh
me
no.
grab the phone and
Oh
was
my
like, "Nope."
gosh.
He looked at me, "Nope." And just
Oh wow.
and I'm like, "I know, I'm talking about you. I'm telling on you."
Ours used to run if they saw you trying to dress them up in something. So, like, not that I did it very often, but one year I got them Christmas bows. They hated them and they just could, and they were really just like a collar with a bow on it. But no, they'd worked it out. This is not my regular, I'm not wearing that. And that's why in the 12 Days of Christian, I actually had her dogs in their Christmas jumpers because I loved it. I loved the idea of it. And it's like mine would never give it to me. So I'm going to write dogs that do that.
So
Yeah.
they don't actually, neither of them really like to wear clothes except for Murphy. Once it gets cold enough, he's like, "Okay, you can
Yeah.
put the sweater on me." Uh,
Yeah.
because it would be 40 degrees, 30 degrees, or snowing, and then we were not going to take him outside to try and let him,
No.
for a walk, uh
Mm.
without putting a jacket on him. And one day Perrin got so mad that we had to put one of Murphy's jackets on Perrin because he was like, "Where's mine?
Oh
How
no.
come I don't get a jacket?" So we
Oh
had a
wow.
husky walking
That's the opposite.
around.
Yeah.
It's
You don't need a
40
jacket.
degrees, which does not need a jacket at all. But he was as
No.
happy as could be because they were both in their sweaters together.
Oh, that's so sweet.
We took
It's
him to the vet
gorgeous.
like that, and the vet was like, "What is happening here?" And I'm like, he brought it to me, and would not go outside until I put it on. I don't know. You have to talk to him.
That is so funny. That is really, really cute.
He
Yeah,
was
they're just like
feeling
little children.
he was feeling left out because Murphy kept getting his
Mm.
sweater put on, and
Yeah.
so he
Yeah.
wanted one too. We were like, okay.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
Their personalities are amazing and so much
Yeah,
fun. They're so
they
much
are.
fun. I know. You're being awfully loud
And
today.
they know
So,
it.
um, before they try to eat me alive,
We
um,
can't have that would not be good on camera.
yeah, no, that wouldn't be fun. Um, but they're getting really, they did eat their dinner, but they need to play and they need attention.
Yeah, yeah, they
So
do. They do. We can't take that away from them.
it's usually I come home from work and I spend an hour with them, or I play, or I feed them and then spend an hour with them before I get into doing stuff. But because we're on opposite sides of the world and everything, our schedules had to line up where it was like, okay, I'm gonna have to feed them and then do the interview and then we'll hold off on their walk, and they are
Yeah, I
not
feel really
happy.
mean. I feel really mean about that.
Oh, they'll survive. It's like an hour later than normal. Well,
Yeah,
actually it changes because my day job that I have now, my schedule fluxes. So it's the time is really just when I get home, that's what happens.
yeah, yeah.
And
It's the routine,
so
not
it's
the
the
time, but the
routine. Yeah,
routine. Mm,
yeah. And so
mm,
that threw them off, but it's okay to interrupt it every once in a while. It teaches them how
yeah,
to calm down, maybe. Something like that, maybe.
maybe. Yeah.
But so you have a lot of things in the works. You have
Mm,
quite a few books out already, and you are on Instagram and Facebook, so they can
mhm.
find you. I know your Instagram is Caroline Corvin Author, so at
That's right.
Caroline Corvin Author. I know because I follow you. Um,
Yeah, I follow you.
and then you have your Facebook. And then, of course, they can always go to your website, which is
Mhm.
carolinecorvin.com.
That's
And
right.
on the website, they can sign up for your newsletter so that
Yeah.
they're always in the know of when your next books and your next projects are coming out. So I always recommend you should definitely do that. Check out the books, check out the newsletters, the social medias, um, and really get involved. Reviews are extremely helpful for indie authors.
Mhm.
So you definitely want to do the reviews. And then on your website, they can also buy direct from you. Is
Yes,
that
so
correct?
they can now. My very clever husband has set it up. So yeah, so you can buy all my paperbacks, and you can buy ebooks of my Parallel Lives Tangled in Time series. My Christmas books and my sports books are in KU, so I can't sell them direct. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why. But yeah, so you can buy direct there. Yeah, I'm so lucky to have a husband who's tech savvy. But yeah, and if people sign up for the newsletter, I put out my ARC reading. People want to ARC read. I love ARC readers. I can't get enough of them. I had about 200 for Blindsided. Well, no,
Nice.
actually, it was actually about 300 all up. It's just wonderful. And I'm always happy to have ARC readers. So people in my newsletter, obviously I post on Instagram too when I've got ARC sign-ups happening. So there'll be two of those next year, one for a sports book and one for a Christmas book. So yeah, I'd love to have some people sign the newsletter. And I only send newsletters once a month unless I've got a new release or there's some giveaway or something like the Stuff Your Kindle days and things like that. But apart from that, I only once a month. So if people sign up, I promise I'm not going to flood your inbox with thousands of emails.
It's so
Yeah,
hard to keep up with them. Some
I
of them I
know.
wonder how I even got signed up for. I'm like, how did I get
Yeah, I
what is
know.
this? I don't
And I
know.
mean, I'm a reader too, and so I'm signed up for different people's newsletters, and yeah, I know it's a really wonderful if people sign up, and I don't want to. then make that a miserable experience for you by overfilling your inbox, because
Yeah.
everyone else's too. So yeah. So that'd be
So
great.
yeah, so definitely check out Instagram and Facebook, um, do the reviews, and keep updated on what Caroline's got going out. Her books are definitely worth it. They're a lot of fun, contemporary romance, happily ever afters, but just really enjoyable, easy, fun, lovable reads. And
Thank you.
it's always good to get those in between your big fantasy world
Yeah,
building.
yeah. Yeah. And
Um,
I'm the same. As I say, I'm a reader too, and I'm reading or listening to Quicksilver at the moment. I do love a good romantasy or something like that, but
yeah,
they're kind of weighty, and then I'll pick up a hockey romance, and so um, I enjoy those a lot. Or I'll pick up a Christmas book, and I think that's the exciting thing. There's lots of books to read, and lots of authors writing lots of different kinds of books for just whatever you feel like. Yeah.
yeah, and it's great to have the little in between bite-sized books to, when you have a long series or a really in-depth series and you kind of need to take a break because it's getting
Yeah.
overwhelming and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I got to take a break from
I
this, or
know. Tell me,
when
I'm trying to
or
read
you have a Wheel of
Throne of
Time series.
Glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Throne of Glass. That's my current nemesis. I love it, but like each book,
Yeah,
I've got to read one and then take a breath.
and that one's like 7 books long or something like that.
It
And then you
is.
have
It
like
is.
a Wheel of Time, which is like 14 books long. And so
Yeah. Yeah.
I've reread that one, but I can only read like one or two and then I have to take a break. And then I can read
Yeah.
one or two and then I
Yeah.
have to take a break because it's
Yep.
so like much. And if I tried to read it all at once, I would never get up. I would
No.
get
No.
so involved in the world and I might distort my reality a little too much if I stayed in a big series like that without
Yeah.
taking a break.
And there's something lovely about when you do dive back into those worlds. So
Mhm.
having a break from them, I think you appreciate them more. It's like when you go back to a favorite holiday spot. If
Yeah,
you live there all year round, you probably wouldn't enjoy it as much. But when you go there for your holiday, it's like, oh, here I am back again. So yeah,
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 I
mm,
agree. It's
yeah.
it's a lot of fun. So thank you so much for joining me, Carolyn. I've
Thank you.
enjoyed talking
I've
with
loved
you,
it.
and I look forward to being able to do it again, hopefully in the future.
It would be
And
great.
I am looking forward to more of your books. So
Thank
it's
you.
very exciting. I'm really glad that I've had the opportunity to meet you and read your books and just get to chit chat with you for a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks so much. And thank you for the virtual dog fix.
oh, you are very welcome. Anytime.
I enjoyed having the dogs.
Anytime.
That
I
was
do my
great.
best to make sure they're in the background. Sometimes
Yeah,
they do not oblige, but
I know. Well, we got a good showing today, and I'm very
yes.
pleased. Makes me very happy.
Probably the most active one since I've been doing this. So the most active one all year. Um, and of course, and then of course I get nervous because I'm like, oh my God, I have to control the dogs while everyone's gonna see me reacting, and it's all right. It's
I feel
fun.
honored. I feel honored that they put on their best show.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
I love them. They're adorable. They definitely enrich my life.
they do. They
They
do.
really
Dogs are the best. They are.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you, Carolyn. I know
Thank
you've got stuff
you.
to do, and I've got to go spend time with these fluff
You
balls.
do. Thank you
So,
so much. Talk to
all
you
right.
again.
You're
Okay.
welcome. Have a
Bye.
good night.
You too.